Okay. And after my graduation, I have joined civil services preparation. I went to Chennai, and from there I have started my preparation. Until this date, I have given in total 4 attempts at the UPSC, and I got service in the third attempt. And I would say it is a kind of mixed feeling from 2 failures to success. It is indeed a very long journey, 4 years of preparation, I would say. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you people. So, about my UPSC journey, the first preliminary I gave it in 2018, and it was a unsuccessful attempt, I would say. And in the second attempt, I went till interview, and even then I was unsuccessful. And in the third attempt, finally I could find my name in the list, and it was indeed a very happy moment, I would say. So in overall, what I would like to say is this exam is like a learning process. Learning, apart from learning subjects, I would say we tend to learn from ourselves. We tend to learn about ourselves, our own strengths and our own weaknesses, and how to maximize our strengths and how to conquer our weaknesses and move forward. So this is what this exam has taught me all this time. And now I have been given a structure like how I should go about this meet. So first is about preliminary examination. Since I already told that I have given 4 attempts, I wrote 4 preliminary, and each time I followed a very different strategy. And I would say that was in any strategy wasn't a perfect strategy, but still I would like to share my experience. The first preliminary, it was like I have just preparing, and I have just gave that attempt. So I used to go subject wise in during my first preliminary preparation. Like once I used to complete polity, and then I will go with the economy and geography. Only after completing the subjects I would move on to the next. That was during my first attempt. And what went wrong in my first attempt is not that I'm not I did not study well, but that fear of failure and that self doubt, that was the biggest hurdle in my first preliminary. I When I came out of the exam hall and tried to solve the paper, I could solve more questions, I could get more questions right. So it is about that how we are present in that exam hall, that matters a lot. And with that input I gave my second attempt. And the second preliminary I did follow a planned strategy wherein I used to divide subjects every 2 hours. So more than 2 hours I wouldn't sit with one subject. And like this I have made a schedule for all the subjects and current affairs, and including test series and solving those test series. And also I would never miss to attend the discussion in my first and second attempt, because in discussion only we get many points wherein people discuss important things, the current affairs, and how we link those with the static subject. That is very important. And one of the most important thing what I did in second attempt was making my static portion very strong, because every time current affairs changes and there is a loads and loads to learn in the current affairs. But once we are strong in static, uh, that cannot go wrong in any way. That was my strategy in the second attempt. And in the third preliminary, after my interview results, it was, I think, 30 to 40 days was left for my next preliminary. And I would say that was, at that time, I was very devastated. And it was very difficult to pick up that gear and move forward. And I took some time, and then I just recuperated from that. So there is an issue.
No. You are audible. I think Abhishek, you
Okay.
have some issue. Yeah, please
Okay,
proceed.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So during, and it was very difficult to pick up that gear. And somehow I tried to recuperate and then finally sit and study and give my third preliminary. And even at that time, I just used to revise my static portions only, because that is where we can make our point stronger. That is very important. Even when I was giving this time in 2021 prelims, that is what I realized. Static portions, we should be very, very strong in that. And in my fourth preliminary, uh, that is after my results, I gave it, and I would say I did not prepare well only it was like two preliminaries I was success, and I was successful, and the next one it was a failure. It is not that we are very we cannot do that, but that we should give that due time for every exam. uh, Preliminary requires at least 2 months of intensive preparation. That is very important. And we should concentrate more on the static subjects. That is also very important. And even among the static subjects, there would be strong points for each of you according to your strengths. For example, I would say my strength was polity, geography, and economy. And history is very difficult for me, and I feel that it has a lot of questions. And the other three subjects I was indeed good at, so that I used to revise those things again and again. And even I would also concentrate on history. So you make sure that you make your stronger area very strong, and also you should improve on your weaker areas. That is very important. And coming to the mains, I have given two mains in total. So two mains is a very different experience in it as well. Whereas in first mains, while I was preparing for the first mains, I couldn't find the material. So finding the material was very difficult, because as we know, it is very the syllabus is open ended, and as in preliminary, there is no defined book for mains, because for mains we read a lot of subjects. For prelims, if we are taking that static, we just finish it with four odd books. And apart from that, magazines we used to read. But when coming to main, it is like it is never ending. So it is very difficult that we have to confine to limited source and make notes. So in my first mains, I did not do that. I did not make notes. I just used to read whatever comes to me. I used to read. And optional, I made very strong point that I would prepare well for my optional. And in my previous mains, I prepared my optional only well. And the ethics portions. For ethics, I had my class notes prepared, and I used to revise those class notes only. So that was very useful for me. And coming to the second mains, here only I have made things proper. What I did is I found a resource for every subject. Like I would give an example. In GS2, polity, governance, and social justice, and there is international relations. So I used to find a material, and I just used to go through that material only. I used to read that material, and I used to highlight the material in the PDF. I used online mode, and every time when I revise again, I used to see only those highlighted portions, so that it was very easy for me. And also for facts and those things, I used to highlight those things also. And mainly for polity and all, we should quote those articles, we should quote those judgments and committee reports. That is very important. That adds an extra edge to our answers. Even if we could get one mark or half a mark in a question, it would end up in approximately 10 marks in each paper. So those marks are very, very important for us. And similarly, I did for this economy, agriculture, and I had this proper material. I just confined my material. I did not go material after material for this. So it is very important, especially in our preparation, because we have a lot, thousands of materials in the market. So there lies the capability of one person to just find that right material and just stick to that material. And once you find that there are some other important things from other sources, just keep your base material and only add other resources to your base material only, so that you can avoid going after material after material. So that is very important, because what happens is, when we go on in search of materials, we just waste our time in searching for the materials, and none of the materials are the exhaustive list, because what to say, every material has some new things, has some lesser things also. So make sure that you have a base, and after that you add some new resources, you add those to your base. That is very important. And also I would like to comment on answer writing strategy. Here what I did in my earlier mains is, I used to write what I have read only. I uh, do not used to write according to what is asked in the question. And this time I made sure that I will answer only what is asked in the question, so that we can structure our answers well, and so that the demand of the answer is properly met. And even today, when I see few papers, they have excellent content, but what they miss out is, they do not understand what the question is asked, what the question is demanding. So it is very important that we answer as per what the question demands, so that we should make a structure according to what the question demands. That is very important. And that makes your paper to stand out from others, because when the evaluator reads the question and reads our answer, and when he finds that both are very unrelated, automatically our marks would come down. So make sure that you answer according to what the question is asked. Whatever you have studied, that doesn't matter, but what you write in the paper, that is very important. And also in your presentation part, that is something where I feel many people who are having excellent content and excellent understanding, they are missing out on this. They do not have a legible handwriting, and they do not underline the keywords. And for essay and all, what they do is, they keep on writing paragraphs. One paragraph would extend to one page. That is very wrong thing. You should have a proper structure to your answer. That is very important. Usually I followed the point wise for GS and paragraph for essay, and one paragraph will not exceed 5 lines. So that is very important, that you make the paragraph shorter. And even the sentences also, one sentence goes to 4 or 5 lines. That is very difficult to comprehend what you have written, and in the end nothing comes out of that. So make sure to finish the essay, especially the essay, in 1 or 2 lines only. One sentence should be in 1 or 2 lines only at the maximum. So mains is all about keeping on improving your writing, keep on improving your content also. So once you are ready with the content, you should just start with writing. That is very important. Only when we write, we come to know new things, where we are lagging. So in the end, the evaluator evaluates our paper only, which we are written. Evaluator doesn't know what we have studied. He only knows what we are written. So that is very important there. And next, coming to my optional. For optional, the resources, I mainly referred my class notes in my first attempt. I mean, in my second attempt, wherein I gave my mains. And for my third attempt, I used Nitin Sangwan book also added to my class notes, because I found that the book had every subjects being every chapters being compiled, and it was very easy that every chapters are at one place. So I used to refer those notes also. And my class notes are my base, wherein I have, whichever question I write, I just go back to my class notes. And only as an add-on, I used other sources. So it is very important you have a base. Even in sociology, you have a base. Either it might be class note or any other book or any other source which you have prepared and compiled. That is very important. And after that, whatever resources you're getting, whatever new thinkers or new topics you are getting, it is just like keeping on adding to your base material. And in sociology, the biggest challenge is writing answers. It is very easy to understand questions, but giving those sociological dimension, because many questions we find it overlaps with the GS, and it is also very common question. So it is very important that we differentiate our sociology paper from the general studies paper. So we should make sure that we add the relevant thinkers, and we should make sure that we add sociological dimension, and we give different perspectives to our answer. That is very important, because that is the thing which makes a paper to stand out from others and to stand out from the general studies paper. And one more important thing what I wanted to say regarding sociology is, this time I wrote daily answers. I and one of my friend, he is also in this meeting, Chandrasekhar. We used to write daily answers. We used to 4 previous year questions we used to take and write those answers daily. That was indeed very useful, because while we are writing full tests, our focus will be on completing the paper. But when we write this daily test, this short test, our focus will be on improving our answer, improving the quality of our answer. So it is very important that we have this daily writing practice, and our daily writing practice will definitely improve our understanding of the questions, how we should structure the question. And in the end, when we write full tests, it makes us to remember that we do not miss on the important points. So it is very important there. And I would also recommend all of you to write answers daily, at least 4 answers, because that is where I think for me it made a difference. And so then coming to the interview part, so I have given 2 interviews in total. What I would say is, from my earlier uh, interview to this interview, there is around 30 marks, 30 to 40 marks difference. What made me to improve this 40 marks is just, I would say, my attitude. When I was giving my first interview, I was a bit nervous, and every question I would take, like the question is being asked to offend me, I would just take it in that manner. Actually, that is a very wrong thing. And this time what I did is, I maintained a calm attitude, I maintained a cool attitude, and I just answered the question which is being asked. I did not take it as it in an offensive way. That is very important, because see the question, we should see the question as it is a common question. And the what the the evaluator, what the chairman and the members, what they are expecting is how calm and confident we are, and how clearly we explain the concepts. So only when we are at when our mind is in a calm state, we could think of something. So UPSC expects this clarity of thought in every stage. So that is very important. Make sure that your preparation fine tunes to this. It is very important in the mains that whatever we learn, we should reproduce it as per the demand of the question. And in the interview also, it is not writing here, it is but speaking. So it is very important that we have proper speaking practice as well. So this time we had a short circle of 3 friends, and we used to discuss everything, the current affairs and our DAF based questions. So it was very useful. And last time I did not speak much, only I did not have much time to practice, I would say. because last time I was staying in a hostel and it was very difficult to speak out. But this time, due to lockdown and all, I was staying at home. And here I was very free to speak. I just speak out whatever comes in my mind. That is very important, because while we are preparing, we used to be dull and we used to be low at ourselves. So while it comes to interview, that shouldn't be the case. You should speak out, you should be very open minded. That is very important. So just be as yourself and just practice and stay open minded. That is very important. And I would also say the biggest challenge in this preparation is not the burden of studying. It was easy for me to study, and I know for many people it will be easy only. The biggest challenge is the self doubt and the fear of failure. That is the most biggest challenge. So I think this self doubt and this fear of failure, those are those are the negative things which pull us down. So just stay away from that. Just make yourself more worthy. Every single person in this world is very unique, and we may start from different places. Though all of us wanted to reach that same place, but we do not start from the same place. So we have different weakness, we have different strengths, we have different capabilities, and only based on where we are at present, we should just improve in those areas where there is scope for improvement, and automatically success will come to us. So I think now the questions have come up in the chat box. So can I go with that?
Yes, Kamala, you can address them.
Okay. So Raghuveer has asked a question. Raghuveer, for your first question, yes, that's actually a very good strategy. And make sure that you improve every time when you write the daily answers. And it should be an improvement. Uh, you shouldn't stop it at any point. Just go with the flow, and make sure that you are improving every time. Take the feedbacks properly. It is very important. Many times we do not take feedbacks in a serious manner. So every feedback is very important, and every feedback is given to us to improve our answers. So make sure that you work on the feedbacks. Make sure that you work on where you are lagging. And
yes, Vimala, I have a few questions from the students. So they have
yeah,
asked that how to cope up with multiple prelims failures. So how we have to reflect
yeah,
from that situation and get success.
okay. So consider that failures are just a lesson. Don't consider that failure is the end of life. Uh, there, what we need is that attitude. That attitude, that what made wrong in your earlier failures. So make sure that I know that if you have failed, there would be something which you might have missed out on that. So it is very important that we take a note on where we went wrong. So if it is on revision and if it is on a less test practice, make sure that you do that properly. And it is not that we just sit and think that we will pass. And I know that many of you might put up enough efforts, but still then it is a failure, means it is indeed devastating. But make sure that you do not get in that negative thoughts. Just ensure that you have given your proper attempt, and the make sure that you go with the subjects, you have done every subjects rightly. And even then, if you cannot figure out, just make sure that you show your answers to your friend, and let him or her find out where you are missing out. That is very important, because what many people do is they just read hours and hours, and even then they do not clear this preliminary. Because there is even even in the preliminary, the solving questions, solving each question is a challenge, because we might easily eliminate one answer or two answer, but how we get to that right answer, that is very important. The only thing what I could say is just practice, just be patient. No, don't let those negative thoughts come in you, and don't consider these failures as the end. Keep it as a learning experience. Where you have missed out, you should improve on that.
Yeah, one more question is that what strategy should be followed by the students who are writing 2022 prelims from now?
Okay, I think for prelims, 2 months of intensive preparation is very important. And if you're writing prelims for the first time, you should definitely spend the entire at least 4 to 5 hours daily for exclusively for preliminary only, because this is the time wherein we are going to lay our base. I would say that my best prepared attempt is my first attempt, because only that time we used to learn a lot, we used to lay our base properly. So when you lay that base properly, and automatically things will fall in its place. So make sure that you complete your subjects, every single subject you should complete it. Do not live on any portions. So basically complete this important subjects first. We used to say this 4 subjects: polity, history, and economy and geography. So make sure that you go with the subjects and solve the test. That is very important. And also sit for the discussions. I would say definitely sit for the discussions. In discussion, they would give few inputs wherein it would be helpful for us to solve the answer in the exam hall. And moreover, try to maintain this calm attitude in the exam hall. That is very important while we are writing this first preliminary. And another thing I would like to say is we might not be used to this competitive environment. That is, when I was sitting for the prelims the first time, that is the first time I'm sitting for an exam like that, sitting for a competitive exam like that. And that was a new feeling. So what I would say is you just sit for other exams, maybe your state PSC exams, or UPSC also conducts other exams. Sit for other exams so that you get rid of that fear of exam hall. That is also very important. And there are few things like map and all. You should be very thorough at it, maps and few things, and the constitutional articles, especially in polity, the philosophical part, you should be very thorough with it. So few subjects you should be very thorough at it. Keep on revising. um, I I used to say that every person has this threshold level for each subject. So when you feel that you're 100% confident on one subject, till then you should keep on revising. It might be 10 times, it might be 20 times. I do not know like what is your threshold. So find out that you keep on revising till that. You should keep on revising. It might be like I have read it already, but just don't stop with 2 or 3 revisions. Go as much as revisions you can, solve as much as test series. And last but not least is the previous year questions. Make sure that you solve the previous year questions at least 5 or 6 times. It is very important.
Yeah, one more question in the chat box. Ma'am, did you write any test series for sociology?
Yes, I have written test series at Shankar Academy. For my 2 attempts, I have used Shankar Academy only.
Yeah,
because I did my optional course there, and so it was easy for me to use Shankar Academy only.
Yeah. And next question from Shika Chowdhury. How to cope with exam hall pressure because I failed in completing the question paper, mainly because of this prelims.
Yeah, I think I have answered that earlier. Ensure that you sit for as many exams as possible, as many competitive exams like what UPSC conducts and state PSC conducts. You just acclimatize to that environment. That is very important. And once you sit for such examinations, you will know that what attitude plays well for you. So stick to that and maintain this calm attitude. Even if you cannot solve questions, even one question in the initial 10 or 20 questions, just don't get tensed in the exam hall, because if we get tensed for one question, uh, it is like we just think of that only in the coming questions also. Even if you could not solve the first 50 questions, no problem. Just go, just read every question. You will definitely find the answer, provided that you have prepared well for the exam. So prepare well, and this fear and all, I would say all these are just illusion. It is only that what matters is you are sitting in the exam hall, you are given a paper, and how well you solve the paper. Uh, that is where uh, this exam plays an important role. So do not have this fear. Just let it go, I would say, because I have read that uh, even even after results we fail. Actually, the real failure is the fear of failure. That is when we are defeated already, even before we are sitting for the exam. So just let off those fears, I would say.
Yeah, and next question is how to structure the answer of ethics. How to handle ethics.
So ethics answers, I basically refer to my class notes only. And what I did, we have this two parts, right? Theory part and the case studies part. And theory part is usually for the 10 marks. So I would just address what is the question asking, what is the core demand of the question. I would just answer that, give a short intro on that. And I just used to go with by giving an example and by connecting other theories if possible. I just used to go by that. And what is very important in ethics is make sure that you have a very good conclusion. I mean, very good introduction and also a very good conclusion, provided that at least 2 to 3 examples you should give in an answer. And example is not just mentioning example, just putting the example for the sake of it. We should connect those examples with the topic. That is very important. Many people miss out on this. They just quote, they just write those example and they fail to connect those example with the topic. So make sure that you connect those example with the topic. And also you can always use diagrams wherein there comes the uniqueness to your answer. So I used to do diagrams for 2 to 3 questions, but even today I feel that I could have improved on that. I could have better answered few questions, and but still I think this is what worked well for me.
Yeah, and final question: how to handle sociology paper to like very dynamic in nature?
Okay. Yes, actually, sociology um, paper 2 is very unique for everyone, right? Because the questions are very too generic in nature, and what makes the difference is how well we connect with that paper 1, how well we connect with the theories of paper 1. That is very important. And they can ask any question, but if you make sure that you do that paper 1 properly, paper 1, that theory parts properly, starting from the thinkers and the stratification. Every chapter has a theory part, right? That first point in under every unit, there will be a theory part. So make sure that you are comfortable with it. You are reading it again, you are revising it again and again, and also make sure that you are applying those things to this paper too. So for example, I am just saying you can include those ideal type concept in paper 2. They might not even ask about ideal type, they might have asked something else, but you make sure if it is paper 2, it is very important that how we have learned well and how well we are connecting those topics. And for paper 2, there is not much preparation itself. because it is more of an applicative nature, and how well you are present and how well you are stronger with your paper one, you will do your paper two that good. So the thing is, you keep on practicing that and make sure you give the sociological dimension to every part. So the sociological dimension is just skim through your syllabus only. Therein we have this stratification, this gender, class, all those things are all those things are the dimension. Politics, work, informal work, all these things are sociological dimension only. And I think it would be very difficult for us to find the thinkers for paper two. Even if you cannot find, it is very important that you give the thinker's perspective. For example, you can give a Marxist perspective or a functionalist perspective or pluralistic perspective to the generic questions. So what makes there is you are trying to apply the concepts of this paper one to paper two, and that makes a lot of difference. And make sure that you give adequate examples, you are connecting the topic well, and you're structuring the answer well. That is very, very important in paper two. And for paper two, what I would say is, more than revision, it needs a lot of answer writing practice. So answer writing practice only helps you to apply those concepts of paper one in paper two. So ensure that you are solving more questions, especially in paper two.
Yeah. So what final message will you give for young aspirants as well as those who could not achieve their dreams?
So I remember Abdul Kalam's quote that he says, winners are not those who quit, but those who stand in that process. Those who stand in that process till the end. That is very important, that we are not going to give up. If you're having this attitude that I'm not going to give up, definitely I think that attitude makes a lot of difference, that we put all our mind and all our thoughts and soul and action into that only. And one day, if not today, one day you will definitely reap the benefits for that, I would say. And after two failures, what I wanted to say is, the things at that time, definitely when we are in that devastating state, we feel that everything is has just stopped. It is we are worthless. All those things, I think everyone who has failed, not only in UPSC but in any other career, I think people feel. It is very, very natural for everybody to feel. But what makes the difference is how stronger we come out of those failures, and what lessons we are taking from those failures. That is very important. And do not if there is a failure, do not consider it is an end. Just make it as a learning process. I would say this exam is itself a learning process. You make sure that where you are lagging and improve on that. It's not about you. It's not about it. This exam doesn't prove your worth, because we are unique. We are every human being is very unique. It's only that we might be behind or we might be forward at some points. So just make sure that if we are left behind, so what we should do to move forward, that is the attitude we should carry on. So consider it just as a learning process. Do not consider and do not relate yourself, your worth with this exam. And I think that is not the right way to do.
Yeah, thanks a lot for this very good talk, Vimala. Like very good to hear.
Okay, thank you, Ogo, for this session, and thank you all for listening to me.
Yeah, okay. Let's end the session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.